Alright guys, so we're going to talk about the sword. There's obviously a bunch of stuff going on with this sword right now. Epic Games finally responded to everyone's calls to have the sword removed from the game. Everyone pretty much has been saying that either the sword needs to be removed and vaulted. I guess vaulted's almost the same thing, but slightly different. And then also the better option, which like I said in my other video, they're probably not going to do, make it into a limited time mode. And so many people, streamers, YouTubers, viewers, pretty much everyone has said, and I've said since the beginning, like, why just not make it a limited time mode? So again, Epic Games responded to all of our cries and all this stuff, so I'm gonna go through what they said and what they're gonna be doing in their new patch next week regarding this Fortnite sword, the Infinity Blade. So that being said, if you can leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know what your opinions are on this sword in the comment section down below, and let's get started. So usually Epic Games are pretty good at responding to what we're talking about in the community, what is going on, if something's overpowered, if something's underpowered, if there's something that the community wants to be changed. Epic Games at least responds to that, and they talk about what they're going to be doing and what the community's opinions are, and they did this with the Infinity Blade. So I'm going to read through what they're going to be changing, and there's actually a bunch of stuff that means, at least it infers that we may be seeing even more sword-like items, and that they're calling mythic items in the game in the future. So more items that are as crazy like the sword right now, the Infinity Blade, will be coming to the game. So it's almost the exact opposite of what we've been talking about, but this is what they're going to be doing with the sword. So this is what they're doing here. We released the Mythic Infinity Blade item with the version 7.01 update, and we've seen a healthy amount of discussion, and okay, they have the responses. So Mythic item. The presence of mythic items in gameplay is to provide an interaction a step above the legendary item functionality, and something you'll continue to see. So something we will continue to see, okay? To us, that means changing the way the game is played for those who interact with that item. That's obvious, but that's what we're talking about. We, like, as players, don't want the game to be that drastically changed by this overpowered, you know, infinite ammo, well, not infinite ammo, but just this crazy overpowered sword. It's changing the way the game plays, but for the worse, not for the better. So I don't know if they really understand that, but the addition of items in this tier provide new and flavorful ways to interact with the map and generally shake up normal play across default modes. Now, I do like the fact that it provides new and different ways to interact with the map, changes the pace up, makes it different, but that's what the LTMs are for. That's not really what the main game is for. So I don't know. That's what they're saying with mythic items, pretty much meaning that they want to add more of these types of items to the game, more of these types of weapons. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. I think it's cool, but when you have something that game breaking like the sword, it's just not gonna work with the actual game. It messes up the gameplay too much, and they're saying it here as if it's a good thing. And obviously it's a good thing to change up the gameplay a little bit, but when you have something completely different, like adding a new weapon, adding stuff that's like normal to the rotation of Fortnite style weapons, that makes sense. But adding something like a sword, that the sword is just nothing we've ever seen before. It's like the Thanos game mode. That was a limited time mode though. That, imagine if the Thanos was in the normal Fortnite battle royale rotations of solos, duos, and squads. Like, that just be crazy. So that's pretty much what it is though. So again, that's that with mythic items, but this is what they're going to be doing to the Infinity Blade. So the change we're currently planning for the Infinity Blade in our version 7.10 update is to remove the ability to build and harvest when wielding the blade. Okay, that's a step in the right direction, okay? When designing the Infinity Blade, the goal was to provide a weapon with inherent risk to balance out the great capability it provides. The ability to harvest and build removes a great deal of that risk. By taking that away, we hope to tune the Infinity Blade where it feels risky to have, but still satisfying to wield. So here is the thing. Now, they're doing something. It makes sense. It's a good step. They're not removing it. I think majority of the people either just want it out of the game. I honestly, I think majority of the people just don't want it in the game anyway. Whether or not it's vaulted, whether or not it's removed completely, just gotten rid of the game, like they just get rid of the sword, get rid of the code, and that's it. Or whether it's put into an LTM. I think the main point is that people do not want the sword, they do not want the Infinity Blade in the normal Fortnite Battle Royale modes of solos, duos, and squads. They just don't want it. So wherever it goes, as long as it's not in the normal game modes, then they're fine. So this already is it's a step, but obviously it shows that they're not going to do that, you know. Obviously, again, what I've been saying is the limited time mode would be the best case, but now that's probably not going to happen, because if they kept an Infinity Blade the way it was before, obviously, you know, it's overpowered, but if it's in a limited time mode, it's fine. That's the whole point of the mode, for that one guy to be overpowered. It's just like Thanos. The whole point is for one guy to be insanely overpowered, and everyone has to sort of fight to get to Thanos and become Thanos, and that's the whole point of the game mode. So if they do that, that would make sense. But now they're actively nerfing the Infinity Blade, so they pretty much have their plan is to keep it in the game. They want to nerf it, but their plan is dead set on keeping it in the game. So however they want to keep it in the game, whether that's nerfing it slightly, changing it around, the end goal for Epic Games is to keep it in the game and to not remove it. So they're removing some of the features, which obviously harvesting and building, you know, that was pretty crazy. You could just farm so much material with that, and you can slam through the buildings, and, you know, whatever. You can build while you're using it. I guess obviously that was a huge part of it, but not really the main part. I think the main part was the fact, it was a decent part, I'm not gonna lie, with the competitive tournament, the Winter Royale that they were doing when the guy was just smashing through everything. Obviously it was a huge deal, but the point of the Infinity Blade, the idea of it, the 75 damage, it's still there, and it still is changing the gameplay. And I don't know, man, I really do think that they didn't need to nerf it. They could have just brought it over to an LTM, kept it how it was before, and then everything would have been fine. Unfortunately, they're not going to do that, and as of now, at least, they're just going to slightly nerf it. So this is what someone said. Again, the top comment on this Reddit post: Mythic LTM is the best thing you can do. It should not be in standard game modes. Top comment. You see how many you know, people voted it up. It's obvious. A Mythic LTM would be sick as well too. Having that as a normal sort of rotating game mode that's constantly there, and then just a new crazy weapon is added every couple of updates, that'd be really sick. Like one week it's the sword, next week it's Thanos, another week it's some other crazy thing. Like they could do so much with that. That could be the Mythic LTM, where you have insane crazy weapons that change up the gameplay. They're overpowered, they're cool, they're fun, they're different. Have a specific game mode dedicated to that, a Mythic LTM. That'd be really cool. A lot of people are down for it. It seems pretty easy to do. It would make sense. It doesn't mess with the normal game, but obviously, you know, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it, at least as of now. Another top comment here, pretty big one. Hey guys, you're overlooking the silver lining of the post. They're going to add more mythic items, just like I said before. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this comment is because I want to show you guys how many people are on pretty much in agreement with me and just everyone else. I want to show you guys that I'm not just saying this for a video. Everyone pretty much thinks that this is what they need to do, you know, and it makes sense. Having, you know, obviously they're going to add more mythic items. That's cool, but not for the actual game, not for the base game, for an LTM, you know, for something separate to what we're seeing right now. The sword is being nerfed. That's sick, but it's still messing up the gameplay. And I mean, there's even a huge argument for the planes messing up the gameplay. You can fly a plane and then land literally right on a player, jump out, and just destroy them. It's just some crazy thing. They just don't understand that they need to change some stuff up, and I guess they don't see how much of a big deal it is to players playing the normal game. Another thing here, so many upvotes, LTM or Vault. Again, people, like I said, they don't care where it is as long as it's not in the game. These kind of bizarre changes should strictly be in an LTM. They have absolutely no place in the main game. And you see like the harsh, not harsh language, but like decisive language people have. It's not like, oh, you know, I think it would be better off if the LTM was like a thing with the sword and it wasn't really in the game. Every comment you're seeing here is just like a flat out like, no, should not be here. I don't think anyone on this Reddit even cares that it's being nerfed. Like, no one's even talking about that. No one cares that it's being nerfed. Every comment, I'm scrolling through every single comment. Why is this weapon here in the first place? Just make it a sword LTM. No place in the game modes. Own LTM. Make a separate LTM. Again, the Reddit post will be linked down in the description below. I just want to show you guys how much of a big deal this is, because the whole community, literally everyone, does not want the Infinity Blade in the game. Everyone. So the fact that you have that many people behind this sort of, it's not really a movement, but this idea that it shouldn't be in the game, That's very telling. So Epic Games, again, this may seem like a big deal to some people that they're actually nerfing it, but at the same rate, people don't want it at all. They don't just want nerfs, they want it out of the game. LTM, Vault, removed, no one cares. That's what they want. So hopefully we'll see if they get that done very soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. Mythic items, I do like the idea of mythic items. Like I said, I want to see more stuff. I want to see the game, you know, add new fresh content, but not in the normal game mode like that. Especially if you're adding something that crazy. Add new weapons, add new guns, that's cool. But a sword, that's like, it's just too overpowered for a normal game. It's just insane. And then the nerfing, it's good, but it's not what we want. So we want to add game or an LTM, and we'll see what they say about that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.